Thursday, July 1st. Welcome to July. So I am going to encourage you at this time to go ahead and tune into July's energy forecast. We are diving into a very exciting month, a very passionate month, a month of change, a month that resembles and replicates all the life lessons that the number 7 is going to bring us. What does 7 bring us? It brings us balance. It brings us our relationships. It brings us new business opportunities, new connections with the right people at the right time to manifest a soul connection where love and business is concerned. It is where things become balanced and fair again. It is where our spiritual side kicks in to show us where it is we need to disconnect from the ego and where it is we need to pour a little bit more into the spiritual practice to balance the scales that have definitely got out of whack. So, July, being the first of the month, not only are we tapping into a brand new lesson here for the month, but we are really starting to see the new changes that are taking place. This adjustment period that we're in, now we're experimenting with it. Now we're dabbling into having a little bit of fun, having a little bit of experience outside of the confines and the restrictions that we're planning for ourselves. I'm going to recommend that you download your Zodiac monthly forecast so that you can pinpoint what is actually going to happen to you for this month and have a heads up on how to kind of, accept those changes with a little bit more ease. So we got a lot going on here. We are shifting forward. The moon is in Aries all day. We are going to reach the last quarter moon in Aries at 6:12 p.m. again, Atlantic Standard Time. So if you are a Moon Guide subscriber, you would know that this last quarter moon is a release point. It's a crisis point. It is where we are leaving the past behind and where it is that we are fired up and ready to start fresh. This literally could not be a better moon, a better placement for a brand new month, a fire month nonetheless. So the moon is going to go ahead and make 9 different aspects here today. We have the moon making an aspect with Jupiter right out of the gate. So, Jupiter retrograde in Pisces, the moon in Aries, all fired up. What is it that we're looking to begin? What is it looking to open a new cycle about? Well, we got to dive into our intuition. We got to cut the outside chatter out and listen to our own truth, listen to our own dreams. We have to grow and expand our inner realms of excitement, of passion, of desire. And how do we do that? We align to the heart space. We're going to get a little bit of help here because the moon is going to trine Venus. So the moon in Aries, fire sign, Venus in Leo, fire sign. There's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of desire. We are definitely focused on jumping into new experiences where joy and where pleasure are leading the way. Where fun, where excitement, where flirting is taking place, where new passion, where love and romance and money matters are concerned. We are lit. We are volume all the way turned up. Here's what I'm going to say to you though. This fire energy can manifest one of 2 ways. You can ride a high like no other, being passionate, being bold, being confident, going after what it is you desire. Or you could be angry. You could be frustrated. You could be irritable because you're not getting what it is that you want right now. So again, we have the power to see how this energy is going to manifest in us. And I'm giving you this disclaimer because Mars is going to be opposing Saturn. Now Mars, the god of war in Leo, the heart and soul of the zodiac, where new passions and new desires are ignited, where he stops at nothing to go directly after what it is that he wants, goes head to head, sitting across the table, getting a lecture from Saturn. Saturn is about restrictions. He's saying, no, you can't go ahead yet. You haven't learned your lesson. No, you can't advance yet. You can't go out there and just take action. You have to think. There's strategy. You have to learn. You have to do this right. You have an obligation. This doesn't sound fun, does it? Now we have to also consider that Mars, who is in Leo, and Saturn, who is retrograde in Aquarius, Well, Leo is about the individual. My individual wants, my individual needs, my individual talents, right? What me as an individual identity brings to the world. And that Aquarian energy is about the collective. It's about humanity. It's about taking the individual talent and skills and sharing it with the rest of the world. Now, because Saturn's involved here, there's a little bit of social responsibility, social obligation. And of course, Mars cares nothing about that at that point. We want to put ourselves first. We're tired of thinking about other people. We're tired of thinking about how we're going to, change the world. We just want to change our world, right? So there is a little bit of a push and pull, a little bit of a give and take here because we're conflicted. We want to be free. We want to love. We want to play. We want to be happy. We want to do what we want to do. But then we have Saturn over here, retrograde in Aquarius saying, well, it's not just about you. It's about how your actions affect other people. You can't just put yourself first. You have a cause and effect. Whatever you do is going to ripple out and affect the people around you. So there's a little bit of like a karmic obligation kicking in here because of course Saturn is the Lord of karma. And, we're kind of stuck because one part of us just wants to be selfish, wants to just dive into doing what we want to do and finally having a little bit of peace and freedom and happiness, some joy, some laughter, some pleasure in life. And then you got Debbie Downer over here telling us, oh, well, you can't have fun at the expense of other people. You can't do what you want if it's going to hurt other people. You can't do what you need to do in your life if it's just going to affect other people. And there's no greater example of this going on in the world right now on the global stage other than this pandemic, right? We have individual wants, we have individual rights, we have individual freedoms. But when we exercise that, suddenly we are backed into a corner and kind of nagged to death about the social obligation that we have to the rest of the people in the world around us, right? This has been ongoing. This is a point of tension. Mars is the god of war. He wants to fight for his individual freedom, fight for what he wants, fight for what makes him happy. And Saturn is like, okay, well, you're going to incur a lot of bad karma doing that, especially when you doing you is going to mess up a whole bunch of other people. So we are going to feel a little bit of a tug here. Keep in mind that Mars rules over Aries. The moon is in Aries. We're all fired up. And that's why I say we can be frustrated. We can be angry. We can lash out because, again, Mars tends to act first and think later. And we might find ourselves in a situation where we're projecting our anger and our frustration out onto the world. We could find ourselves taking action, not thinking about it, and, get in a silly little accident. We don't want to act out. We're going to want to feel like we're going to act out, but we don't want to do that because why? Well, the Lord of karma has his sights set on us. And if we are making one wrong, selfish move at this point, he is going to make us suffer the consequences for not thinking about how our actions are going to influence the world around us. So we're a little bit effed up over this. I'm not going to lie. Luckily for us, the moon goes ahead and has a conversation with Mercury. And the moon is like, okay, we want to move ahead. We want to start new. We're ready to jump into new cycles and fired up. Why can't I move ahead? And Mercury is like, listen, all I know is I just woke up. The whole world damn near changed. Everybody's lost their minds. I think that what we're supposed to be doing here is sitting and waiting for new information to come in to change our perspectives. I think what we're supposed to be doing here is logically and practically, strategically making a plan on how it is that we're going to move forward. And of course, the moon in Aries don't want to hear that. Moon in Aries just wants to hit the ground running. So all of a sudden, Pluto kicks in and is like, you know what? Now we have to remember, Pluto rules over like the underworld. So the shadow parts of ourselves, the not so nice parts of ourselves, gets a little bit more voice when Pluto is involved. Pluto puts his 2 cents in here and he's like saying to the moon in Aries, you know what? Go for it. Don't worry about logic. Don't worry about planning. Just take action because we can't sit around and think about this. You know what needs to end. You're ready to move on to a new cycle. Cut the head off the snake. Don't worry about it. Cut it now. We'll figure it out later. We'll smooth it over later. And then the sun chimes in, right? The sun, of course, in Cancer wants us to just take a time out. Is this the best situation for us right now? Is this implementing boundaries? Is this nurturing us back to an emotional safety and security place? Is this taking care of our home and our family dynamic? Is this honoring what it is that our intuition and our soul space wants? Well, no, right? No, we want to take action. We want to move forward. We're tired of being held back. We're tired of the pain and suffering. But the square with the sun in Cancer is like a tension point of, does your intuition think that you should do that? Does your higher self agree? You know, and this is like a Debbie Downer too, because we want change, and the sun in Cancer wants us to stay the same. And of course, we just want to act to honor ourselves, and the rest of the world is saying, don't be selfish. We're all in this together. So lucky for us, the moon sextiles the true node. And this just kind of proves us as a reminder that, yeah, you know, we do want our dream to manifest. We do want to be on the right path. We do want to end up at our end goal. And this is a little bit of common sense kicking in. It's kind of toning us down a little bit. Yeah, you know, if you do have a dream, you probably should take action strategically and logically in order to get there. And the moon in Aries, of course, doesn't want to hear that. So it kind of checks out for a minute, just as the sun steps in and says to the true node, will you stop encouraging rash action? Like, could you be any more tempting at this point to get people just to, you know, take action and get to their end goal? There's strategic planning that needs to be put in place here. We have to think about balancing the scales. We have to think about the roles and responsibilities that we have, not only to our family, but to, you know, our financial situation. We can't just take action without thinking about it. You could disrupt the whole thing that we got going on here. And then, of course, Saturn chimes in and comes back to the moon and says, see, you can't just go out willy-nilly. You can't just be taking action out of your own personal wants, needs, and desires. There's a plan here. Other people need to take part in your plan. You need other people in order to manifest the dream, the desire that you now currently have. You can't do this by yourself. And then the moon says, you know what, screw this. I'm trining Mars right now, my ruler. Mars is going to fire me up and let me know that I need to do what's right for me. And you know what? He's not wrong. However, Chiron kicks in and says, okay, you guys are about to light a fire, not realizing that there's a fire ban right now, and the whole forest is going to light on fire, and you're going to burn down other people's homes, all because of your ego, all because you don't have patience, all because you don't have the discipline needed in order to strategically plan your moves moving forward. Look at the harm that you're going to cause if you do not slow yourself down. Look at what you are going to do if you do not think this through and you only think about yourself. So that sounds like a little bit of a roller coaster. And seeing that we are in the very first day of July, the first day of the lesson of number 7 of balancing the scales. Balancing the scales between what do I want, what do I need, what do I desire, versus what do we want, what do we need, what do we desire. It is recognizing the ego versus the collective, the individual versus the team, the I versus the we. So this is the first day that we're going to get a taste of some not so nice medicine, trying to pull the reins back on us, taking action, making moves for ourselves, and instead consider how our actions will be the ripple effect and how they will affect the people around us.